Welcome to the TeacherCast Educational Network, coming to you from the TeacherCast studios since 2011. Join us each week as we bring you the latest educational news, EdTech updates, and hottest interviews with today's most influential leaders in education. And now, for your host, Jeff Bradbury.
Hello, and welcome to the TeacherCast Educational Network. My name is Jeff Bradbury. Thank you so much for joining us today and making TeacherCast your home for professional development. This is Digital Learning Today, episode number 24, and today we got a lot of fantastic topics for you. We're going to be talking all about the upcoming ISTE conference, another fantastic conference happening in sunny Southern California, a little bit about what AI is going to be doing over the summertime and into the next school year. And then I'm going to be talking a little bit about curriculum. On our show today, we have a fantastic guest, the CEO of Beyond Technology, my good friend, Mr. Ernie Delgado. Ernie, how are you today? Welcome to TeacherCast.
Jeff, I'm not sure if I can match your energy. You're just at a whole nother. We were talking a minute ago. You went into a whole nother gear right now. I'm gonna try to match it, but I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. All these topics that you want to bring up are near and dear to my heart. So let's go.
I am excited that you are here. And of course, I want to start off the show by saying thank you. Last night, we're actually in the middle of a home and home series, if you will. Last night, you were gracious enough to have me on your podcast. So we got CEO, we got podcaster, we got conference creator. Who is Ernie Delgado?
Ooh, such a great question. You know, Ernie Delgado is many things. I like to say that first and foremost, I'm a family man, husband, father. We talk about our kids all the time, Jeff, and you know, my son just had his promotion 6th grade into 7th grade, and he was blessed. They invited him to do the Pledge of Allegiance, and so my parents were there, his godmother was there, and we just got to watch him, and it was just a special moment for our family. So that's who I am first and foremost. From there, you know, I really want to inspire young people and educators on the power of just technology innovation. That has been, you know, I've been doing this for 35 years. Started out as a computer teacher, ran a computer school, eventually got into, customer service. And then I got into actually being a West Coast representative for a technology company. And so I've been all in on technology and education since 1992. Could I say that? Can I say how long it's been? Because I can't even believe it.
It's only a few years.
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. In the history of the world, yeah, it's a blip. It's a blip in time.
Now, today we're going to be talking all about conferences, and many of us are going to be heading to Denver in just a few short days. I'm looking forward to seeing 25,000 of my closest friends. And if you are going to be out of Denver this year for the ISTE conference, don't forget on Monday, we got two amazing things happening around 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock or so. We have the Instructional Coaches Playground. It is going to be amazing. Several great instructional coaches, myself included, are going to be there. 2 hours learning about instructional coaching, sharing instructional coaching. If you happen to be there, I'm going to be doing an hour-long session all about coaching productivity, showing you off some of my brand new Notion dashboards, how you can keep productive in your classrooms, and how you can make your coaches be more cohesive in what they're doing. So check out all that stuff. And in the morning, I'm looking forward to, on Monday, that is my Ignite session, where again, we're going to be doing 20 slides, 15 seconds each slide. We're going to be talking all about coaching productivity. So lots of stuff going on at ISTE. Please feel free to come on over, check us out. And if you see me in the hallways, stop by. Selfies with Jeff is always a great thing. Ernie, you're no strangers to a conference, right? You've had an opportunity to be at conferences as a teacher, as a vendor, as an entrepreneur. What is it like for companies to be at conferences, meeting those in the classroom that's actually using their products? What is that like on your end of the table?
Well, that's funny you ask, because I was a coordinator for a company. We did dozens of conferences every year. And first thing I'll tell you is, as a vendor, as a company, in the conference space, it's very expensive. It blows my mind, the dollars that flow into these things. And But there's a ton of coordination, a lot of moving parts. You want to make sure all your stuff arrives. You want to make sure all your tchotchkes, your giveaways are available and ready to distribute. And then you want to make sure that you have a nice, solid way to introduce yourself to people. And I'll tell you, it's the funniest thing when you're at a conference. We're all there. We're all in the same pond. We're trying to help young people prepare for the future, give teachers the resources to be successful at helping us. But sometimes just making eye contact is difficult. They walk down the path and they look at their shoes and scoot it by. So you really need to find a way to get them just to pause for a moment. If it's a graphic, if it's handing them a flyer. I remember one year we baked cookies. They let us do that. And so they could smell us. And that was a big hit. And then another year, and this is a good tip for a vendor, is you want to be next to a really popular booth that's like selling candy or something. We were next to the C's Candy booth one time. Great location. I highly recommend it. They should probably charge double for that spot because it's the best real estate. But yeah, location, right? Like everything else. But it's the challenging part, in my opinion, once you get through all the stuff I just mentioned, is really understanding who you're talking to. Because for some vendors, you want to talk to the teachers, and some vendors want to talk to the technology coaches. Some vendors want to talk to the school principals or the district staff. And very few conferences do that right. Some of them have different color-coded badges and make it really easy. Some of them don't. So those are some of the major issues that, from this side of the booth, you want to be aware of.
It's interesting to walk down those aisles, and you had just mentioned things like eye contact. I try to look everybody in the eye, and they're just looking at my shirt because that's where your lanyard is. And so I kind of do the best that I can. I hide the.
My eyes are up here. Yeah.
All right, like talk to me. You don't know that you're talking to somebody with a microphone. You don't, my badge might say teacher, but I've got a microphone in front of me. Like.
Right.
Everybody here is equal. Now, being at a physical conference is one thing, but I'm excited because you are going to be soon launching a conference of your own in Southern California. Talk to us a little bit about your conference that's coming up.
I thought you would never ask, Jeff. So yes, let me give you a little background on our conference. It's called the Innovative Educator Conference. It is being hosted this year, July 29th, 30th, and 31st, 2024. And we're hosting it at the Marriott at Cal State Fullerton. And Jeff, if you don't know Cal State Fullerton, it's the biggest teacher college on the West Coast, possibly in the country. There's a lot of school administrators, a lot of teachers that are titans. I'm a titan. I got my business degree from there. Mm-hmm. So Cal State Fullerton is near and dear to my heart. We have support from the School of Education. There's a new president of the university who we're trying to get into the loop. But to give you a little background on this conference, every year, and again, Beyond Technology Education, which is our company, has been in. We're going on our 23rd school year, and in those 23 years, every summer we get our team together to train and prepare for the coming school year. We're a remote company. We have staff all over the country, and we don't have a physical building. We're all in at the same time, except for the summer training. So we get together, and there's a lot of effort to get us all together, from planes to trains to hotel rooms. And I finally decided one year when I had a business partner, I said, look, we're all here together. Why don't we do some trainings on the side? At the time, Google was starting to become a big thing. A lot of people are asking for Google training. Let's do a little Google 2-3 day workshop, $199 a person. Let's do what we do during the summer, a little revenue during the summer. And it kind of took off. And it started with Google, then it got into other topics. And then 2019, we decided to really step up our game. We did it at the Rowan Hotel in Palm Springs. It was brand new at the time. Beautiful Kimpton Resort, first class. I wanted educators to come and just be pampered. And so we had a great package. The room rates were very reasonable. We had some great speakers, and it was a first class event. I hired the video crew. I hired the photographer. We had all kinds of content. We did the drone footage. We went all in on this, Jeff. And the goal was to really go to the next level the following year. Well, we all know what happened the following year. The plague hit the country, COVID hit, and all of our plans went down the drain. Conference lost its momentum. We came back and did it virtually 1 year. And then last year we came back full force and we did it in Brea at Embassy Suites. And we had such great feedback, and we did the video crew again. And so this year, the Innovative Educator Conference is starting with the leg up. And really what we're trying to create is a West Coast thought leadership conference where school leaders from school sites to districts, faith-based, charter, all come together, and let's talk about innovation and the future of education. In particular, AI strategy, which, now schools are all in. Last year they were on the fence. This year we see a lot more schools saying, yes, teach us what we need to know. And school safety and security always is on top of mind, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. So those are kind of our three main themes, but we have speakers doing other things like college preparedness and lots of cool stuff. But it's a 3-day event, and we're looking forward to hosting every one of your listeners, Jeff, to come to our conference.
When you're dealing with a conference that's 3 days, stamina is certainly a consideration. What advice do you have for somebody that's going to be coming out to your conference? Is it show up to every session? Is it take the ISTE philosophy of sometimes it's great to just have conversations in the hallways? Are there strategies that you give? Is there a pathway that you can take? How can somebody make the most out of your conference?
Well, my goal for this conference, Jeff, is that it becomes, and this might sound strange, but it becomes a family event. And let me explain what that means. We're in Southern California. Have you been here, Jeff?
I have. I remember being at ISTE in San Diego a long time ago.
Okay, so we're right up the road from San Diego in Orange County. Okay. Huntington Beach, Laguna Beach, Newport Beach. We got some of the greatest beaches on the planet. We have Disneyland. There's so much to do. My goal is that a school administrator brings their family and a team. Like, I would like for 2 or 3 people from a school or a district to come, because this is an opportunity to relax, sit back, listen, and plan and really regenerate. But if you bring your family, you could do stuff a couple days before, a couple days after, and attend some sessions and go with your family. We want it to really be an opportunity to plug back in, kind of, not all the way. You're still on summer break. You're still in vacation mode. But let's start getting you pumped up again. And we want this to be kind of that reset opportunity. Let's talk about innovation. You're getting ready to start your school year. Let's do a little bit of planning. It's not too late. And get them pumped up and revived and ready to go.
It is a beautiful area. It's a beautiful location. I remember being in San Diego for ISTE 2012. And you're right. 40 minutes or so by train, you're in Disney World. You got all those beautiful beaches.
Disneyland here. Disneyland.
Sorry. What's the website? Where do we go to learn more?
Okay. It's go2iec.com. www.go2iec.com. And IEC stands for Innovative Educator Conference. I'm going to do something right now. I thought I did it already, but I can't find it. I'm going to create a discount code for your people. So if they go to the website, they can use the discount code TeacherCast50, and they will get half price off of either their standard or deluxe. If they get not deluxe, golden ticket, there's also a discount on some of our curriculum products, which you know something about that. So that if they're planning on buying products, I'd get the golden ticket and get that discount, so they can buy some good stuff.
We're going to make sure that we put that in not only our show notes, but we're also going to be featuring that link on our next upcoming newsletters. So no matter when you get a chance to do this, check this out. It is going to be a fantastic conference. Not only is it the day after my birthday, Ernie, but you're going to have a chance to celebrate with the entire sunny Southern California population out there. So check it out. We're going to make sure that the links are all ready for you and all set and ready to go. Now, Ernie,
I just made it live. I just did it. It's there. I just plugged it in. It's a good link. It works now.
Nice. Today, we're talking to Ernie Delgado, CEO of Beyond Technology and Education, a fantastic company that is leading the way in curriculum in a very innovative way. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later on in the show. But Ernie, as a CEO, I have to bring up this conversation. Ever since January, every single show, we talk a little bit about AI, artificial intelligence. You can't get away from it. Where do you see AI in the world of curriculum? Is there such a thing as AI in curriculum these days?
Oh man, this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because I really think that this is a tremendous ground floor opportunity for everybody, not just educators, pretty much any industry. There is an AI strategy that you could start learning about, and not just understanding the tools available, but how you could leverage those tools to create new tools and create opportunity for yourself. In education in particular, obviously teachers have ways to use it for lesson planning, for letter writing, for parent notes, for graphic design. There's like earlier today, like I think I told you this, Jeff, I'm a PC guy, and just recently, they put this icon for Copilot. Mm-hmm. And I keep on seeing it, but I don't use Copilot. I'm a Chat GPT guy, and I pay for the 4.0. But I was curious, and I clicked on it, and it's kind of cool because Copilot does something that Chat GPT doesn't do organically. And I just typed in, "Give me a photo of a cute brown dog," and it gave me 4 options. Like within 5 seconds, I'm okay. Copilot is pretty cool. So just little stupid things like that, where maybe a teacher wants, give me an image of a diploma for my student to put on their paper or something like that. You got it. So there's just little things that we're going to learn along the way that AI is just going to provide things super fast, super efficiently, and very much it'll be exactly for the situation you need it for. It's ready to go. Now, if you don't mind, I want to take this conversation a step further. So right now, what I see with students, I know that there's limitations on how involved, especially if you're, not an adult yet. ChatGPT requires, a parent letter or something if you're a student. But eventually, what I see happening is students having these AI bots or avatars kind of helping them. And we talked about personalizing content, these personalization opportunities. And what I see happening, and this is just my vision of the future, it's not just going to be one, it's going to be several. And they're each going to have their own look and feel and voice. And this is going to be their little AI crew that our students are going to have. And what I see happening, and I had this conversation with an AI company, publicly traded AI company earlier today, and they were like, "You're thinking this, we're thinking the same thing." These crews will help our students get through life. Not just school, they'll help them get through finances and homework and nutrition and finding the right books to read and finding the right clubs to attend and finding the right groups online to be part of. And we talked about this, that moment in the movie Her,
yep,
where the Scarlett Johansson AI says, "We've been talking." He's like, "What do you mean we?" And the AIs were having a conversation behind the scenes that none of the people knew about. Sorry if I just ruined it for people who haven't seen that movie, but it was a very cool moment. I'm going, of course these AIs are going to know about us and talk about us. And our AIs could possibly help us meet the right people to fulfill our objectives in life and our health goals and our work goals, our relationship. Maybe that's how you find your next girlfriend or wife or whatever, or tennis partner. The AI crew will be an extension of us and will be a digital behind the scenes, good doer helping us get through life, and will evolve with us as we get into the different seasons from school age to university to work to life to senior citizen, and they're constantly going to evolve with us. I see that happening. I don't know. That's my take on AI, Jeff.
It seems if you're going to be getting onto the track, either it's now is the time, or we needed to be doing this about 4 months ago. And I say that because there's a lot of school districts that I'm in touch with where they're still trying to figure this out. They're still trying to figure out if they need a policy. They're still trying to figure out where to go with this. What advice as a business owner are you hearing about this? Should every company be starting to harness AI? Should every company be starting to bring AI into their platforms? And what does that look like from a company owners? Are you out, hiring AI developers for your curriculum, or are you hiring people who know how to write prompts in AI to then create more curriculum? If I'm not saying this right, I apologize.
Yeah.
Where do you put you on followers, right?
So right now we're in the infancy. This is the horse and buggy days of AI, and it's slowly going to improve. And actually, it's probably quickly going to improve now that I think about it. And so yeah, we're not really hiring those people. We're training our existing staff. We're educators. We know how to learn, and we know how to find the right resources, and we know how to build new things. And so right now on the horizon, there will be tools that will help you build videos from an outline, and build an assessment from an outline, and build, pretty much all the content for a lesson from an outline. Is it going to be good at first? Probably not, but it's going to be acceptable at first, and then it's going to be great eventually. That it's just a matter of time. And then the personalization aspect is just imminent. It's going to fine tune, and the machine learning aspect of all of this will modulate and keep track of students and their interests and where they're going. And so, yeah, I think every company that is not looking at AI is probably going to be obsolete in 5 years, because if you don't do it, someone else is going to. They're going to be doing whatever you're doing better because they've leveraged that and harnessed that power that's constantly going to be improving. Now, if I could take that same statement you asked me and apply it to a school leader, district leader, or school site leader, we talked about this a moment ago, but we're hosting the Innovative Educator Conference in July 29th through 31st. And our tagline is, after these 3 days, you'll leave with a full AI strategy and safety strategy for your school. We want them to come, bring a team, and listen to our speakers and be able to get briefed on all the updates and walk away with the plan. That's our goal, or at least the outline of a plan that they could go back and ratify with their, the higher ups. But it's not about waiting on this. The time is now. And even if you're not going to ratify it, if you're not going to integrate it into your school, in your district, you need to at least be aware of what's happening, because it's happening really fast.
What advice would you have for your educational leaders out there when it comes to providing PD towards prompt writing? I mean, that it seems to be that's the first barrier of understanding AI. How do you speak to it, right? And the problem you mentioned, you've got Copilot, you've got Gemini, you've got Magic School AI, you got School AI, you got all the different ChatGPT, you got all the variations of a prompt is not a prompt is not a prompt, but it kind of is. So where do you start? What have you seen? I know you mentioned, Copilot recently. Microsoft came out with saying, every single keyboard has Copilot in its fiber, and you can't go anywhere on Windows these days without having. Where do you suggest we start in education here? That's the hardest, but that's the easy question.
Yeah. So just to illustrate your point even more, I just saw advertisement for the new Microsoft Surface. With Copilot. I mean, Copilot. They're one and the same now. It's like that. Everything Microsoft does is going to be with Copilot. So to answer your question, the PD part, the prompting part, I just did a workshop. Well, actually, I redid a workshop last summer when we did our Innovative Educator Conference. What word did I just say? Innovative Educator Conference. We one of the most popular sessions is one that I did. I won't hurt myself patting myself on the back here, but it was all about AI strategy for schools and prompt engineering. And we went through a couple different ways of doing it. And one of the things I taught them, I go, this is a new concept for a lot of you, prompt engineering. It's a new concept for most people, but it's important because this is how you're going to get out of the AI. You're going to get out by asking it the right question. So here's a hack: is ask AI how to ask AI. And so we did this project where I want to do a school safety workshop for my staff. What's the right prompt to get the right outline from you? And it added so many things that we didn't even think about. You need to check this state standard, and you need to look at this group of best practices. And it gave me a way more thorough prompt. And then we went back and prompted it that way, and it built the whole thing. So the hack was ask it how to prompt, ask it what it wants for the best quality prompt. And it works really well. But what I also tell them is once you get past that training wheel stage, you don't have to do that anymore. Now you see the detail of question you need to ask, but in the beginning, ask it what to ask it, and it will tell you. And it's pretty uncanny.
One of the things that I've been working on is using prompts over multiple question blocks. So, hey, I'm going to put in this information. Please don't answer back until I do the next one. And then you put in the next one, and then you see it thinking, it's comparing, it's contrasting, and then it spits out, as opposed to I'm going to vomit everything into one text block and hope that you understand that there's layers of all of this stuff. I mean, that seems basic, but that's different than just, hey, write me a paragraph.
You might be following one of the same guys I follow. There's a guy who invented this Professor Synapse concept and you have to actually front load your AI in the settings. There's those two boxes where you could add, your voice or your narrative or your reference. And it gives a series of how to answer questions, just like what you're talking about. They call Professor Synapse. Now, I haven't updated it lately because this guy, every week, he changes a little bit, tweaks it. But it does that. You ask it something, but then it comes back and asks you something else to get more context. And then in some situations, it'll even, if there's 3 different aspects of your question, it'll bring in 3 different specialists within the conversation. So you get answer number 1 to answer that part, answer number 2, and answer number 3 from 3 different AI components or AI bots or whatever. It's very powerful if you do it that way. That's kind of advanced AI at this point.
When it comes to your specialty right now, which is curriculum writing, where do we put that? I want to ask the right question here. Cart and horse. Do I go to the chat bot and say, I need a curriculum for digital media? Or do I write digital media curriculum and say, okay, now I need a lesson for this and have it spit something out? Or do I say, give me 3 ways to teach this topic? Or is it all of the above? Or where do you decide to bring things in? Because I'm, of course, afraid that the curriculum I'm writing is not mine. It's completely AI, because if every lesson I'm going to magic school, and if every time, yes, I'm putting my spin, there's a human being behind it.
Yeah.
But 98% came from this, does the school district own that curriculum if it's created by AI? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question, and because I don't know that anybody knows. It's kind of the Wild West right now.
Right.
Now, one of the things that I have found is pretty effective. There's a version of ChatGPT called ChatGPT for Teams, and it's where you have a leader, and then there's different sub accounts under it. So let's take a school principal or even a district leader, for example. Let's use a school principal because this is where I have more experience. The school principal would use this team approach to use those boxes to give a voice to any AI conversation, any prompting that comes under this umbrella of the school. It's going to go through these filters first. So the principal gets to use the state standards, the ESLers, all the things that principal feels is important for his or her school. That's kind of the filter first. And then for each team member, she could do a subset for kindergarten teachers, for first grade teachers. So it's another filter with that level of standards. If you do that, then you have a little more confidence that the output is going to meet at least the standards and the goals for the school that you're asking each teacher to have. And so you get a little better quality output. But I still, I hesitate to tell any educator just to put it in and use what pumps out, because that's disingenuous. You need to write your own stuff. You could get prompts and outlines, I think, or that's what we tell students, get an outline, but you need to do the work still. And as you know, AI sometimes makes stuff up. Well, how dumb would you look if there's a real, something that's supposed to be important and it's the wrong date or the wrong fact or the wrong person because you just let AI kind of go with it? That's on you.
So true. Very true. And, no matter if you're writing curriculum, if you're writing a blog post, if you're writing podcasting show notes or whatever it happens to be, there's always that need. There's always a need to make sure that we are in charge of this. And there's always a need to make sure that we're writing everything down. I'd love to know what you guys think about this topic. I mean, we've been discussing AI here over the last several months, and certainly we'll be discussing it more as we head past ISTE into the summer season here. If you have any questions about AI or would like to see a topic covered, or if you'd like to be a guest on the show to talk all about artificial intelligence, we would love to have you. Head on over to teachercast.net/contact. That's teachercast.net/contact. Of course, we've been here talking to CEO of Beyond Technology Education, Ernie Delgado. And I wanted to ask you two more things here, Ernie. One of the topics on my mind is fundraising and renewable energy. Talk to us a little bit about what you know on the subject.
I do. So, a funny story. Sitting here at this desk during COVID, kind of twiddling my thumbs. We have schools in all different levels, from public, private, charter, and we actually had a couple private schools that were struggling, and actually one of them went out of business. Private schools, that happens, and I really felt bad for them. And I think you and I were talking about this. I had just gotten a solar system installed on my house. A friend of mine talked me into it. I trusted the guy. And he said it costs you nothing to do this, but your electric bill will go down. They just have to build it right, and they build it right by analyzing your consumption from your bill. Are you going to be bringing in electric cars or building a pool, adding a pump, lighting? They ask all these questions, and then they build a system that covers how much energy you used last year with like maybe 10, 15, 20% extra to give you that cushion. And with all that, your electric bill should drop by at least 30% a month. And I go, prove it to me. So he did the analysis, showed me what my bill would be. I actually had an attorney review the agreement. He showed me some areas that were kind of questionable, but it was my friend, and I kind of went with it. Mm-hmm. And, my wife pays the electric bill. So she said 30% less. You have my attention. So we did it, and everything he said was accurate. And so we have 30% less. I bought an electric car. I don't pay for gas. So it just all worked out for us. And I'm sitting there during that COVID period, schools that, people need to know about this. Like this school right here that went out of business, 20% of those families are evaluating renewable energy and adding a solar system to their home. What if I helped them learn about this program and made it into a fundraiser? And that's what I did. But it's not just a fundraiser. We partnered with a company called, a group called need.org. It's in DC. They're funded by the Department of Energy, and they have amazing renewable energy curriculum, and it cost donut zero. So we partnered with them, and so all that curriculum, we created some worksheets and some onboarding processes for schools, so the schools could teach about renewable energy, especially solar, photovoltaic, rooftop, residential solar. They could talk about wind and turbine and geothermal. There's some kits you can buy, but you don't really need to. And then the students will understand the value of saving our planet through renewable energy, and they can go back and do some analysis of their bill and see if it makes sense for them to get solar on the roof. And the school could get a fundraiser rebate back. And it's just a model that we put together, and it feels good to help people. It helped us. And, I think anyone who has children who's thinking about the future and our environment, don't listen to the electric companies and all the politicians that kind of try to downplay it. It's a serious issue, and every person can do their part by going renewable on their home.
We went solar about a year ago, and it is really nice. I think my last electric bill was about $6.50, and that was amazing, right? Like,
yeah,
perfect. I'll take all of that stuff.
In California, we didn't get it down that low, but I think I don't even want to say what. I think our bills averaged about between $400 and $500, and now they average about $250. Yeah. So that's kind of where we landed. And I think we pay a little bit to the electric company, like $6 for a connection charge. But I love it because it powers my car. I have this little Polestar 2 hot rod. I drive by every gas station just waving, suckers. I love it.
Where can people go to find more information about the programs or learn more?
The program we developed is called Funds, the number 4 Solar. Funds for Solar. There's a link in the menu, fundraiser. I think the front main page is for the homeowner to understand the model and to give them information. But there's a fundraiser link where a school principal or PTA leader or even a district official could do this. Really, any group. We work with nonprofits. We work with Boy Scouts. Any group could get involved with this fundraiser.
Talking today to CEO of Beyond Technology, Ernie Delgado. And Ernie, before I let you go today, I'd love to talk a little bit about the great work that you guys are doing in the curriculum field.
Yes.
What is Beyond Technology?
So we're a 22-year-old EdTech company. We have a model called the Next Generation Technology Program. It's three things. It's computer literacy, computer science curriculum, K through 12. It's professional development. It's custom lesson creation, and it also comes with a project manager. I guess that's four things. But a lot of people just choose to use our curriculum because it's a project-based approach, and it's a little different than a lot of your online graphical gamesy appsy type. This is project-based learning. This is real create, make, collaborate, do, invent type stuff using real world tools. So what we try to demonstrate to students is what are people in the real world using technology for to solve problems. That's what we're helping them do in regards to science and math and language arts and all the subjects. But there's an extra layer. Our K-8 curriculum, it's chopped up into K-5, K-6, K-8 or 6-8, the different variations. But it's called Technology Plus. And Jeff, the students are getting access to all the different technologies. I tell people everything from keyboarding to artificial intelligence, data science, everything in between. But there's a layer, the plus part is character development. And a lot of school principals love that we include that because, there's a lot of techie people out there that maybe can't look you in the eye and maybe aren't really, I don't know, they lack some skills. And so character development issues are important to us, teaching students about being a goal-getter, about making healthy choices, about regulating your screen time, about getting enough movement, about being kind to each other. You cannot teach a child to say please and thank you often enough. So all of this stuff, which kind of went down a little bit during the COVID and coming back from that, we're trying to help students. Yes, let's learn technology, but through this project-based environment, let's learn how to be good humans at the same time. We're very excited about that curriculum.
And is there training involved for the staff members that are going to be putting this on? Is this something that's for one teacher, one class? How does the whole system work?
We do sell it in different models. There's the K-8 4-year license model, which is what most people get involved in, and it comes with training and support for the first year. I mentioned that Innovative Educator Conference. One of the tracks is for computer teachers or technology teachers, or that technical teacher that just wants something more robust for their classroom. They come to that. We cover their hotel, we cover their meals, we give them the curriculum, we train them, and they're also part of a community. And what I have found, Jeff, math has their conferences, science has theirs, administrators have theirs, computer teachers, I guess there's CSTA, there's SD, but this is just a small group of dedicated computer teachers. It's kind of like a user group, if you remember that term from the old days. You're all using the same curriculum. Let's get together every summer to tell you about the latest and greatest upgrades. And we have a Slack channel and quarterly meetings, and we keep in touch with people so that they always feel supported and they're not just in their room with their computers all alone trying to figure out lessons on their own. We have a curriculum that's very powerful and a community that supports them and ongoing training and support. They could buy it by the grade level. They could buy it by the 1 to 4 year license. There's different ways.
Very nice. And talk to us a little bit about some of the successes that you have. What do teachers say? What do parents say?
Well, teachers love it because the students now have all the fundamental skills. You don't have to guess if they understand how to create a formula. You don't have to guess if they know how to do a presentation. You don't have to guess if they know how to do some kind of graphic, from a spreadsheet to create charts. You don't have to work at all that stuff is now handled, and you could get into the more advanced concepts. So it really, I've had students, and this is an interesting fact. I had one of our schools was a Microsoft school. Now we support Apple, Microsoft, Google primarily. Is there anything else these days? I think that's the three biggies. And this was a Microsoft school, and the middle school computer teacher, she wanted to have them get their Microsoft certs in word processing, spreadsheets, databases, and I think presentations. And Microsoft said, middle school students can't do this. She goes, yes, they can. And she put them through our curriculum, and she had an 85% pass rate in spreadsheets. She had a 90% pass rate in word processing. And I think in presentations and I forgot the other one that she was doing. She had like a 80+% rate. So she was doing it, and our curriculum set them up for success. So it's powerful stuff. And I'll tell you, by the time a student is using our 8th grade lessons, they're blown away what most high school students are doing. They're at a very high level, and now they have that skill set for the rest of their life.
The website is beyondk12.com. You can check out all of their curriculum, from their technology stuff to their CEO conversation, CEO challenge here. There's a lot of great things here in the entrepreneurial sense. That's something that you don't see in a lot of high schools and middle schools. Tell me a little bit about the CEO challenge. We were talking about this a little earlier.
So what we learn in our Technology Plus is when we've been with the school for multiple years, say 3 or 4, the middle school starts getting easy. It's hard to create a curriculum for a beginner and an advanced, because we modulate a little bit. So we created advanced curriculums, and the first one we created was something called CEO Challenge. It teaches students how to be entrepreneurs. It teaches them how to identify a business that they'd like to start. And it's simple, Jeff. They start by creating a logo. And with that graphic design, then they create a business card. What I have found, once a kid has a business card, they're in. Now that's their ticket to figuring out, how do I make this business happen? We teach them how to budget. We teach them how to create a presentation, a pitch deck. And the course ends in like a Shark Tank like example where there's a pitch competition and there's a winner. And a lot of our schools have a plaque in the office, and each semester there's a winner of the competition. And what's cool about this pitch competition, the schools invite the local newspaper, they invite the Chamber of Commerce, the school board's there, and some of luminaries come and judge this, and of course local businessmen. We had one kid, he had this great idea. It was kind of like a digital they had to go find different facts and artifacts throughout the website. And the goal was, the more time the user spent on the website, the more likely they are to understand the content or buy the product, whatever it was. And it was a really cool idea. And one of the parents said, I want to invest in this company. And I'll tell you, they did, but we made sure the kid did not drop out of high school. So they might get funded, but they have to stay in school. Stuff like that happens. I had another kid, his mother was a principal. She was the middle school principal. And he came to her one day, and he was in 5th grade, I think. She said, Mom, I don't like school. I'm bored. I think it's a waste of my time. She was traumatized. She's an educator, lifelong educator, and her son's telling her this, and she's the principal. So he ended up coming into middle school. He did our CEO challenge. He did his business card, and he invented a product where he put this thing on a drill, and he spun paint, and it made these cool art pieces. And so he created a TikTok, and he showed people how to make this, and then he created I think it was a Facebook store, and he started selling not only the artwork but the tip. And she said by the time he was in 11th grade, he was making $130,000 a year. So
not bad for being bored.
Not bad. So this kid got reinvented. He's an entrepreneur now. I just talked to him a few months ago, and that sparked him. He didn't go to college. They're not all going to go to college. I highly recommend it. But this kid's doing well. He owns a home. I think he's college age, and he's doing it.
That is awesome. And what does it look like when students are going through this? Is it all online? Is there a physical component? Is it you logging in and just watching videos and react? What does the day-to-day lesson look like?
So there's 2 parts of the curriculum. It's mostly lesson plans for a teacher to deliver these lessons. And there's an outline, and there's also some visual organizers, and there's a lot of links, and there's a lot of templates. So the students are using, again, real world tools. They're using Google Workspace, or they're using Microsoft Office, or they're using Apple iTools, and they're creating these different projects. And it's not a software, although the curriculum is delivered through LearnDash, if you know that tool. So it's all digital lesson plans. Now, if you look back here on my shelf, we used to be like a binder-driven company. And my former partner, he was all about binders. And finally, I convinced him to go digital. And that's what we did during COVID. We took everything out of binders into digital. And so we reinvented ourselves. And so teachers, they could buy a binder still. It costs a lot, but the teachers prefer having all digital resources. They print out the pages they need, and they actually integrate a lot of it into their CRMs. If it's their management systems, if it's Google Classroom or Canvas, whatever they're using, it's designed to integrate into that.
That sounds fantastic. And if you're looking for more information, of course, the website is over at beyondk12.com. And we're going to make sure that we mention this stuff not only in our show notes here, but also out on our newsletter. So head on over to TeacherCast and sign up for our weekly newsletter. Lots of great stuff happening each and every week. Ernie, I think we've covered almost all of education tonight. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on all the success and, of course, on the conference coming up. One more time, how do we learn more about the conference? And most importantly, what's that discount code?
So the conference, you can learn more about it. Go to gotoiec.com, gotoiec.com. And we have a special discount code for listeners to TeacherCast, and it is TeacherCast50. And you get 50% off either the standard ticket or the golden ticket. And if you purchase a golden ticket, you could get a percentage discount off of our curriculum products, Technology Plus, CEO Challenge, CEO Marketing, Creating Change Developing Solutions. And yeah, we're excited about that. And if you want to learn more about the curriculum, you could go to beyondk12.com. Both of them will have a pop-up with an offer. So figure out how you get there. Go to iec.com, beyondk12.com. We have websites all over the place, just like you do, Jeff. You have lots of websites too, I noticed.
Ernie, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Please invite yourself back on anytime. We would love to continue this conversation.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.
And I hope you guys had a chance to check out all the great resources. Of course, all the links are going to be in our show notes over at Digital Learning Today. This is episode number 24, I believe. I'll double check all that stuff. But I hope you guys had a chance to check out everything over there on teachercast.net. On behalf of Ernie and everybody here on TeacherCast, my name is Jeff Bradbury, reminding you guys to keep up the great work in your classrooms and continue sharing your passions with your students.
You've been listening to the TeacherCast Educational Network, hosted by Jeff Bradbury. Please reach out to the show with all of your questions on Twitter @TeacherCast or online at www.teachercast.net. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. And please take a moment to write a review in the App Store.